with the blessings of my Guru and Ambal's Asirvad. We are starting our new session of Devi Mahatmya. A small introduction, like we will know how it all emerged. Devi Mahatmyam is one of the most powerful texts in the Shakti Upasana. Over a period of time, we have had so many people reciting so many mantras and things like that. But centuries old, this is the one text that is considered to be the most important aspect of Shakti Upasana. It actually, when you see what is Devi Mahatmya, it is the battle that we all go through in our consciousness every day. We have got a lot of emotions, mixed emotions. We have got joy, happiness. We have got sorrow, pain, lost sometimes. So this aspect, how our perspective of it and how we are dealing with it. Normally we say the demons means tamasic aspect of creation is called demons. We call them demons, Rakshasas. But this Devi Mahatmyam is so unique that tamasic aspect is also considered to be hers. The tamasic aspect which we always like to refer to a demon also emerges from her only. She is not different. This is something you have to understand that. All good, bad, everything emerges from her. It is not that only good comes, not like that. Even the bad also comes from her. Why she has to do it? Why she has to do the bad things also? Because if you look at why we go through all the emotions, different emotions in our lives at different point of times, is because we are, our greed, our ego, our passions. If you want something, if you want power, there are so many things. People just for the sake of power, if they want something, they have to achieve it somehow. What is the means we do? See, these kind of ego, our own ego, that is the highest. Our own ego, all these things are the reasons that we go through a lot of emotions in our mind. How we are going to, we have to understand that. All these things, all these qualities also emerge from her. It is not different. So, actually speaking, Devi Mahatmyam describes about this universe and the divine power. The existence of the universe is multicolored, multi-layered, with all kinds of positive and negative things. Everything is together. That kind of universe and the divine power which gives both, and the humans, how we react to that, how we react to this prapancham, how we react to the different aspects of the emotions. It is our reaction. Understand that. So Devi Mahatmyam is not the battle outside, it is the battle within. The battle here described how it happens in Kurukshetra. Kurukshetra happened and Bhagavad Gita emerged. The battle that happens inside is what is explained in Devi Mahatmyam. When you see how atrocities are committed, it is not happening outside, it is happening within us. how much we wield ourselves to get to the point, to get whatever we want. That is what is Devi Mahatmya. Understand that first. The emergence of the Devi Mahatmya, when we see, like, they say the period sometimes, Vedic period itself, it existed because we have got Devi Suktam, Ratri Suktam. Suktams, we have got it in the, as a part of the Anga, we have got it in the Mahatmya. So they say it is not post the Shaktam by itself as a Shadva, we call it as 6 types of worship. One of this is that defined later by Adi Shankara. The 6 kind of worship defined by Adi Shankara. But before that also this existed. That is what the Vedic period says. Then coming to Markandeya Purana. Interesting, like, Markandeya, it is a huge Puranam. It is only one part of the Puranam we are learning here, as in the Devi Mahatmyam, as Devi Mahatmyam. Markandeya Puranam was one of the oldest Puranam, where Rishi Markandeya explains to his disciple Krausiki Bhaguri, Kraustiki Bhaguri. He has explained in each of his chapters Manvantaras from the beginning. What is Manvantara? The question comes as, what is Manvantara? Manvantara is the age period where we have got 14. This Prapancham has got 14 Manvantaras. Each Manvantara has got 91 cycles of the Chaturyugam. Chaturyugam consists of Kritayugam, Tretayugam, Dwaparayugam, Kaliyugam. See, the Chaturyugam, 91 repetitions happen in one Manvantara. Every Manvantara has got 91 cycles. We are actually presently in the 7th Manvantara. And already 27 Chaturyugam has passed by. We are in the 28th Chaturyugam. That too in the Kali. We are not Kali Yugam, we are in the 3 Yugams have already passed by. So we are in the 4th Kali Yugam, we are in the 28th cycle. I don't need to explain, because when we are doing the Sankalpa, we say this, no? Vaivasva Manvantara Ashtavimshati Dhame Kali Yuge Pradhame Pade. No? Jambudvipe Bharada Varshe Bharada Kante Meruhu Dakshine Parsve. Then Vartamani, what happens now? See, our Sankalpam starts from that Manvantara. The head of the Manvantara is, the name of the Manvantara is given as by the head of the Manu. Who is the Manu? The Manvantara goes by his name. So first Manu is the Adi Manu. Then every Manu, they have got 14 Manus coming. And this 7th Manvantara, where we are living now, is Vaivasvata Manvantara. Vaivasvata Manvantara. This is the 7th Manvantara. That apart, this Markandeya explains to his disciple Krastiki Bahaguri what happens in each Manvantara. He describes the history of the world, the entire creation. As he was coming to the 8th Manvantara, we have not come to 8th now, we are still in the 7th. So in the 8th Manvantara, he says these things are going to happen. Savarni Suryavarayo Manu Katyate Ashtamaha. Next Manvantara is called Savarni. Savarni.
மன்வந்தரம் முடியறதுக்கு இப்போ 7th மன்வந்தரம் சொல்றீங்கள, 7th மன்வந்தரம் எப்போது முடியும்?
91 cycles. இப்பதான் 28 நடக்கிறது. இன்னும் 91 வரைக்கும் முடியணும். 91 cycle முடிச்சதுக்கு அப்புறம் then the 8th manvantara will start. Now we are only in the 28th cycle. And what happens, like, after manvantara there is the sandhya, we call it as manvantara sandhya, where there is a complete dormition. One manvantara is 820, I think 852 years, divine years. If you consider our years, then 852 into 360 years. That is what one manvantara is. You can just imagine the number of... then what will happen? After each cycle, there is a small pralayam that happens. Small pralayam will happen, but not the dissolution. But after every manvantara, there is a complete dissolution happens before the start of the next manvantara. Then that period is some 4,800 years. The entire creation will be in the water. That will be 4,800. 4,800 வருஷம் அப்படியே இருக்கும். After the completion of the entire 91 cycles of manvantara. But in between, after every cycle, there is a small pralayam that happens. Okay. Now, this has been told long back. Markandeya has predicted what is going to happen in the future. That is what he is giving this to his disciple. Suddenly, when he comes to 8th manvantara, Devi appears. From 81 to 93 chapters, it is only about Devi and her parakrama. After that, Devi is not seen. Before that, Devi is not seen. Before it started also, first 7 chapters, there is no mention of Devi. 8th chapter, suddenly she appears. And there is always a, like, there is a doubt, like whether it was a part of the this Markandeya Purana, or it was like added. But it is a part of the Purana, because many Markandeya Purana, we have lost a lot of his scripts. What we have, but surprisingly, Devi Mahatmyam is intact. Why we go back to the BC, before the Common Era, like you find this Devis, all terracotta things and all in the olden civilizations we have seen it. We have seen especially about Durga. So they feel like, it must have been there, but it stayed intact maybe because few people were pursuing it. Pehla, it was only orally they were giving, but the text came only in the 5th or 6th century of Common Era. 5th or 6th century, the text came only at that. So probably it was orally transmitted, like how the Vedas were transmitted those days. And then what happens is, like, Bhaskara Raya also wrote a commentary for this. It is called Guptavati, highly secretive. That is why Gupta means secret, and it is highly secretive Guptavati. He says, like, it is not lyrics, it is not man-made, it is what came by its own. That is what Bhaskara Raya says. As I said, this explains how Devi was both good and bad, and she is the one who comes here specifically in the tamasic form. The equality of the 3 forms, tamas, and then rajas, and then sattva. Tamas is extremely darkness, sattva is extremely light. In between, rajas is the mixed of both, you can call it as a gray area where activities happen. It is extremely dark and extremely light. But it shows the way. It is pointing to the direction, it doesn't take you there. Sattva doesn't take you there, it only points you to that direction. Sattva, then tamas aspect, how you find in this world. Rajas is, we all know the activity, what we all go through is activity, and the seers who have really emerged are all completely sattvic. Okay. Who is this? Where the tamas falls? You can say it is all rocks, minerals, all jadam. No? They are all tamasic in aspect. We have to understand they also have souls, but obscured souls. Minerals, because we know when you take an atom, you have this electrons and protons. Electrons keep moving. Activity is there in the minerals. Where there is an activity, the presence of the divine is always there. So, minerals are considered to be... I remember I used to tell this story about Ahalya. Ahalya, you all would have heard about Ahalya in Ramayana. When sage Gautama cursed her to become a stone, it is all described as she became a stone. Her consciousness became like a stone, obscured. It is not the form, it is we depict it as stone. It is not stone. Her consciousness became so tamasic and the soul was absolutely obscure. She reduced herself to that level. Tell me if it is little going too high, because I know it is difficult, because tamasic, that is, the moment Lord Rama's feet touched her, and she became the person that she was. So tamasic aspect is something that is not devoid of souls, it is obscured souls. Jadam we call it in Sanskritam, where they don't move. Rocks contain minerals, so that is why I took the minerals as the bottommost. They are tamasic by nature. That is why when we say human beings, the birth of being born as a human being is so precious. Tamasic nature, we don't know how many janmas, what they go through. In the name of Allah, they are burned and compressed. No? How many mountains we all break. What they go through, the souls go through, and they cannot express. But we human beings are considered to be so evolved, and how much we can express and how much we have to progress towards her. You have taken this janma, no? The rarest of rare janmas. The energy in this, if you call Shakti as energy in this cosmos is constant. I didn't say it. It is only quantum physics which says. And Vivekananda clarifies it in one way, like it is the total Shakti, what you call as Shakti is the total amount of Shakti present, energy present in this cosmos is what Shakti is. What she represents. And there is the Shaktam and Advaitam. Shaktam also leads to Advaitam in the end. But there is a small difference in Shaktam and Advaitam. Advaitam says this universe is imaginary one. It is not the real one. The universe is superimposed on the Brahman. So Brahman is concealed. It is only through this, like rope and the snake, that is very easy for you to understand that. Shankara says like, but there has to be a rope to understand whether it is a snake or a rope. Absence of rope will not give you any idea about anything. But he says like, rope has to be present. So the doubt comes, which is rope or a snake, which is real. Okay? This is Advaita. Advaita is that this entire cosmos, entire Prapancham creation is illusory. There is a small difference in Shaktam. Shaktam says like it is evolution. From one, everything emerged. Without losing the identity of one. What they cite as an example is thread and the cloth. Cloth is made of thread. Okay? It has not lost its original thread quality. It still remains. That is the base of that thread. This is like, theory of evolution that they talk about. Everything emerged from her. Her consciousness is present in every being. All these things are by Shaktam. First one we call it as Advaita theory, we call it as Vivartavada, and this Shakta theory we call it as Parinamavada. This evolution from base. If you take mud, from mud the pot comes. The quality of the pot still connects it to the mud. This is what it is. It goes back to the source. So this is, you have to understand this, but what they say is Shaktam also in the end goes back to Advaitam only. It ends in Advaitam, because we have seen the great Advaitic Jnani like Adi Shankara, who propagated Advaitam, wrote so many of Shaktam texts by him. We know Saundara Lahari. There are so many things he has written. He is the advocate of, he is the one who is the advocate of Advaitic principle, but he has written about Shaktam. So in the end, Pariva says like, in the end everything goes and joins in one source. Be it like, you lose your identity. Everybody like goes there, then it goes to the final emancipation. Then we come to the limbs of, we call it as Angas. There are 6 Angas for Devi Mahatmya. 3 are recited. This is all, these Angas and all came only much later, the 14th or 15th century. The written, what the text that we have, that came only in the 4th or 5th. Then much later, Dhyana Slokams were added, and then the limbs got added, the Angas got added. 3 are said before we recite the 13 chapters. 13 chapters it consists of. Before we recite the 13 chapters, we have got 3 Angas, and after we complete it, we have got 3 more. First 3 are Kavacham or Galam and Kilakam, they are called. They are compulsory to recite before you start. Whereas post 13 chapters, we have got 3 more Angas, where it is, we call it as Pradhanika Rahasyam, Murti Rahasyam and Vaikrutika Rahasyam. Rahasya Trayam we call it. Those 3 Angas are given as optional 1. Maybe because those days it has become a compulsory one to be initiated into Navakshari before you recite the Devi Mahatmyam. Because Devi Mahatmyam is not poetry, it is all mantra rupa. Understand? We have to understand that the entire Devi Mahatmyam text is mantra rupam. So it cannot just be considered as a poetry or a lyric or something that it can be. Not a simple sloka. So that is the reason the mandatory Navakshari Mantra Diksha was given before we started. Because the mantra is repeated here when in the Bijam forms, when we in the 13 chapters. So these 6 angas, amongst the 6 angas, Pradhanika Rahasya Trayam is mostly done only by those who are initiated into Navakshari. Others don't recite it. Even now, those who are not reciting, I am seeing a lot of people not initiated into Navakshari mantra also. They recite the first 3 and the 13 chapters, but not because that is not meant for, without Navakshari Japam, you should not recite that. But if you are taken in Navakshari Japam Diksha, then you can recite those 3 also if you want. It is still an optional one. It is not a compulsory one. Whereas the first 3, Kavacham, Argalam, Stotra, Argalam and Kilakam, are compulsorily you have to recite. After that only you can proceed with the Navarna Mantra Japam and the 13 chapters. Saptashathi Nyasam, which I will teach eventually now once we come to that stage. And then the 13 chapters you can do it, and again you have to do the Navarna Mantra Japam. The thing is, the entire 13 chapters is between the mantra. Navarna Mantram before and Navarna Mantram after 13 chapters. So this is compulsory that you have to do it only this way. So then the Rahasya Trayam is something that is very, very optional. Many people don't do it because it is meant for your own self-growth, as to understand how the Shakti emerged and how she turned into so many things up to where human beings, like all the Prapancham and everything, how she got expansion, her expansion. These are all the things that Rahasya Trayam explains. So that is mainly for our academic value than for the recitation part of it. That you understand that. And now we come to the Kavacham part. Kavacham is called armor. What is armor? That gives you protection. First, you have to have good health to do anything. Siddha Purushas, that is why they gave so much importance to the medicinal aspect of Siddha Vaidya emerged because they gave so much of importance to the body, which actually is like a temple that holds the Brahman inside. So you have to take care of your physical self. There are Devi, you have it in multitude forms. You are going to see her in this journey. And every part in our body has got one deity which is protecting it, which is actually protecting that part. There are so many Devis in our body itself, which protects that particular part. We are going to see so many names in this by the time we complete this Devi Mahatmyam, because we will see her innumerable forms. Then we understand that each and every aspect of this creation, one Shakti is there behind that. That Shakti, she is the one who is responsible for that. It is like a big MNC kind of a thing where you have a CEO or a thing, you have managers, you have all staff and everything. So it is the same way the entire universe works. Probably ours, we ape that model. So that is the same kind of a thing. Adi Shakti is one. From there the distribution of power comes in each and every aspect of this cosmos, this prapancham, this world. The way it functions, in the same way it comes to us, in our body, in different forms. She is the names are also given in accordance with the place that they are staying. Like for bones, they say all the joints, Abheda. Bheda means breaking, Abheda. The one who the Ishwari's name is given as Abheda, one who never breaks. All the joints she takes care of, all our joints. Like that, it is very important to take care of your health. First, that is, it is only when our health is good, physically we are fit enough, we can do lot of things, whether even progressing in our spiritual life. This one is very, very important. What is the status of Devi Mahatmyam today if you see so? Like, first it spread one thing in the north, mainly in West Bengal. Because in and around West Bengal, because the tantric part of Upanishads, the Upasana, tantric Upasana was prevalent in the North India. Even now it is prevalent. This tantric aspect, that is why they say, like, even the dhyana slokams they added, it only connected mainly to the tantric aspect. So it got very familiarized in the north, especially in the northeastern side, and slowly it moved to the south, where the Vedic aspect of it also got evolved. And it is got the new name here as Durga Saptasathi. North it is called Chandi, here it is called Durga Saptasathi. The 700 verses are not exactly 700 verses in this, because they have made it less that half lyrics or the uvacha, all those things they counted as one to get the number as 700, because they want to equalize this to the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita also has got 700 verses. So in the same way, they want to be on par, because there also Krishna promises that he will come whenever there is evil is going to be predominant. He will take the avataram. He will come every time to protect the good. In the same way, Devi says here, every time there is going to be problems for the good, she will take the avatar. So they just want to bring that kind of like comparison to both, so that when it moved to south, it got the name Durga Saptasathi. Otherwise it is called Chandi in the north. Devi Mahatmyam is something that is mentioned in Markandeya Purana. Got different names, that's it. So now we are moving on to our Kavacham. Because you people are all initiated into Navakshari, you can do the Nyasam that is mentioned before you start the Kavacham, all seven, Adgalam, everything has got a small Nyasam in the top. So you can open your book and take the Kavacham part. Kavacham, Arghalam, Kelakam. As I told you people, when you all learned Navakshari mantra, that every mantra has got a rishi and the chantas that is mentioned. In the same way, this Kavacham is given by Brahma, Arghalam is by Mahavishnu, and Kelakam is by Shiva. So these three devatas, they have given one what set of slokas before we start. Okay. Atadhevya Kavacham. You can repeat it twice when I say once. Now Kavacham, the heading no problem, but after that every line I say, you repeat it twice. Okay. And wherever you struggle to say, please tell me. We will repeat it many times. There is nothing wrong. So don't be like, what if I am just going, no, it is not like that. Wherever you are struggling to pronounce, you can say, we will repeat it again. Surely, like now initially when we start, it may all look very easy, but there are complications as you go further. Okay. Om Athadevyah Kavacham. Om Asya Sri Chandi Kavachasya.
श्री चण्डी कवचस्य
ब्रह्मा ऋषिः
ब्रह्मा ऋषिः
अनुष्टुप् छन्दः
अनुष्टुप्छन्दः
चामुण्डा देवता
चामुण्डा देवता
अङ्गन्यासोक्तमातरो बीजम्
अङ्गन्यासोक्तमातरो बीजम्
दिग्बन्ध देवतास्तत्त्वम्
दिग्बन्ध देवतास्तत्त्वम्
श्री जगदम्बा प्रीत्यर्थे
श्री जगदम्बा प्रीत्यर्थे
सप्तशती पाठाङ्गत्वेन
सप्तशती पाठाङ्गत्वेन
जपे विनियोगः
जपे विनियोगः
पाठाङ्गत्वेन ओके
पाठाङ्गत्वेन
ഇതിലില്ലേ അതുപോലെ നിങ്ങൾ சொன்னது
அதுல இல்லையா?
என்னோட புக்கில் வந்து
நான் அனுப்பிச்சு கொடுத்துருக்கேன் உனக்கு. இல்லைனாலும் பரவாயில்ல, நான் திருப்பி அனுப்பிச்சு கொடுக்குறேன் உனக்கு, கவலைப்பட. இப்போ நீ சொல்லி கேட்டுக்கோ, அதுக்கப்புறம் நான் திருப்பி உனக்கு அனுப்பிச்சு கொடுக்குறேன். இருக்கான்னு பாரு. இல்லை அதுல இல்லைம்மா, அது நவாரண மந்திரத்தை தானே கொடுத்தேன், கவச்சம் இல்லையே. ஏன்னா the many books printed now, because they do it, this is can be done only when you are initiated into Navakshari mantra. This is done only when you are initiated into Navakshari mantra. If you are not, then many skip this and they go to next line. Okay, this I will send it ma separate cut break. Okay,
எனக்கும் வேணும். என்னோட வந்துட்டு வேற மாதிரி கொடுத்துருக்கேன்.
என்ன கொடுத்துருக்கா?
கவச்ச ஸ்தோத்திரம் சொல்லிட்டு அஸ்ய ஸ்ரீ தேவி கவச்ச ஸ்தோத்திர மகாமந்திரஸ்ய பிரம்மா ரிஷிः அனுஷ்டுப் சந்தः ஸ்ரீ மகாலட்சுமி தேவதா ஹ்ராம் பீஜம் ஹ்ரீம் சக்திः.
வேண்டாம், இது வேண்டாம், அது வேண்டாம், நான் உங்களுக்கு அனுப்புறேன். I will put in 3 this thing, English, Sanskrit and Tamil. You just go through it and see it. So this is something that has to be recited, because that is the privilege of being initiated into Navakshari mantra. You can do all the nyasams in this. All the nyasams, which actually is very, very important. But because people just recite it like this, they skip these 2 lines. Okay? You just now listen and then I will send it to you later. Okay? Om asya Sri Chandi Kavachasya Brahma Rishihi
ओमस्य श्री चण्डी कवचस्य ब्रह्मा ऋषिः
अनुष्टुप् छन्दः
अनुष्टुप्छन्दः
चामुण्डा देवता
चामुण्डा देवता
अङ्गन्यासोक्तमातरो बीजम्
अङ्गन्यासोक्तमातरो बीजम्
दिग्बन्ध देवतास्तत्त्वम्
दिग्बन्ध देवतास्तत्त्वम्
श्री जगदम्बा प्रीत्यर्थे
श्री जगदम्बा प्रीत्यर्थे
सप्तशती पाठाङ्गत्वेन
सप्तशती पाठाङ्गत्वेन
जपे विनियोगः.
जपे विनियोगः.
So for this Chandi Kavacham, Brahma is the Rishi who is the one who has recited this, is the author of the Kavacham. Chandas is Anushtup Chandas, because there are 3 Chandas that comes here. So this one is Anushtup Chandas. We are worshipping Chamunda Devata, because this Chamunda Kavacham, that way they say Kali Kavacham, some people say Durga Kavacham, they say. This has got various names, but Kavacham is only one. Mahalakshmi, we go for Argala Stotra. Mahalakshmi. Chamunda Mahalakshmi is her name. Her name is this Durga Saptasathi. The name is only Chamunda Mahalakshmi. So we call her here as because we want to differentiate her. She's the only one. We call her in different names. This is only for our satisfaction, not for her. So Chamunda is the Devata. Anganyasoktam Atsi Bijam Tattvam and Bijam and Tattvam and Devata. Why we are reciting this japa? The Bijam is the Anganyasam, whatever the Anganyasam, the Dram Dream you were saying, no? That one is the Bijam. And Digbandha Devatas Tattvam. Tattvam is the Digbandha Devatas. All the 10 directions that we have done already, the Nyasam. That is why we are not repeating it now. Because we are doing the Navakshari Mantra Japam. Everything encompasses that. Everything comes under that. So all the 10 Devatas are the Tattvam. Sri Jagadamba Prityarthe Saptashati. Jagadamba Prityarthe. To please her, to get her blessings, we recite this. Pata Saptashati Pathangatvena. Pathangam. Saptashati Patam is the Durga Saptashati. Angam is the part of that Saptashati. As that I am doing the Jape Vinyoga. This is done only, this Japam is done as a part of Saptashati. The lyric is written. Who is the author of this lyric? What chandas it is written in? All those things we have to mention before we start. There is no, this is also, I will tell you, there is no mudras or anything to be shown. Just fold your hands, pray and say like, Asya Sri Chandi Kavachasya Brahma Rishi. Like that one, Jape Vinyogaha. You just fold your hands and just pray. And then you can continue with the next one. Before we start or after we complete, every time Om Namah Chandikaya, the Nama will keep coming again and again. After finishing of every chapter, after finishing the Nyasam, everything, this Om Namah Chandikaya will be. Because many people who don't do the Nyasam, they will start from Om Namah Chandikaya. And then the Kavacham will start. Okay. Here the Kavacham actually is the conversation between Markandeya Maharishi and Brahma. Markandeya Rishi and Brahma. Markandeya first questions Brahma. Asks the question like, what is, he is telling like, what is the most secretive thing that will protect the entire human beings? Every aspect of our being. Please tell me that, which is not revealed to anybody, which is not told to anybody. Please tell me that. That is Markandeya is asking and Brahma is replying that. Now, Markandeya Vacha.
Markandeya Vacha.
Om Yad Guhyam Paramam Loke.
Om Yad Guhyam Paramam Loke.
Yad Guhyam Paramam, repeat it twice. Yad Guhyam Paramam Loke.
Yad Guhyam Paramam Loke.
Sarvarakshakaram Drunam.
Sarvarakshakaram Drunam. Sarvarakshakaram Drunam.
Yad Guhyam Paramam Loke. Sarvarakshakaram Drunam.
Yad Guhyam Paramam Loke. Sarvarakshakaram Drunam. Yad Guhyam Paramam Loke. Sarvarakshakaram Drunam.
Yanna kasyachithakyatham.
Yanna kasyachidakyatam. Yanna kasyachidakyatam.
Tanme bruhi pitamaha.
Tanme bruhi pitamaha. Tanme bruhi pitamaha.
Yanna kasyachidakyatham. Tanme bruhi pitamaha.
Yanna kasyachidakyatam. Tanme bruhi pitamaha. Yanna kasyachidakyatam. Tanme bruhi pitamaha.
Om Yad Guhyam Paramam Loke. Sarvarakshakaram Drunam. Yanna kasyachidakyatham. Tanme bruhi pitamaha.
Om Yad Guhyam Paramam Loke. Sarvarakshakaram Drunam. Yanna kasyachidakyatam. Tanme bruhi pitamaha. Om कस्यचिदाख्यातम् तन्मे ब्रूहि पितामह
Yat guhyam paramam. The most supreme secret, paramam loke, in this world. What is the most supreme secret? Which gives all protection, sarva rakshakaram runam. Runam means giving. Which gives all protection, all kinds of protection to humankind, mankind. Yad guhyam paramam loke sarva rakshakaram runam yanna kasya chidagyadam na kasyat, which is always kept secret, no? It is not told to anybody. Yanna kasya chidagyadam means told. Na kasyat means not clearly told to anybody. Na kasyat chidagyadam. Yat na kasyat. There is that sandhi there in the Sanskritam. Yat and na kasyat becomes, kasyat becomes yanna kasyat. Okay? Yanna kasyat chidagyadam. This one is not being told clearly to anybody. Give that one. Tanme bruhi pitama. Give me that. So, the supreme secret one, which gives protection to the entire human being and which is not told to anyone clearly, please tell me that. Pitamaha, he is addressing Brahma as the Pitamaha. Okay?
Yenna kasya or kasya?
Kasya, yenna kasya. Kasyat means kaskyatha, yenna kasyat. Kasyat is seeing clearly. Na kasyat means not seeing clearly. Kasyat, not kasyat. Sir. Sir it is. Okay? Kasyat chidagyadam. Kasyat becomes the here. So, kasyat chidagyadam tanme brohi pitamaha. Please tell me that to me. What is the protection? Which is the supreme secret. Okay? Then Brahma starts saying, Asti guhyatamam vipra.
Asti guhyatamam vipra. Asti
guhya param. Asti guhya tamam vipra.
Asti guhyatamam vipra. Asti guhyatamam vipra.
Sarva bhutopakarakam.
Sarva bhutopakarakam. Sarva bhutopakarakam.
Asti guhyatamam vipra. Sarva bhutopakarakam.
Asti guhyatamam vipra. Sarva bhutopakarakam. Asti guhyatamam vipra. Sarva bhutopakarakam.
Devyastu kavacham punyam.
Devyastu kavacham punyam. Devyastu kavacham punyam.
Tatsrunushva mahamune.
Tatsrunushva mahamune. Tatsrunushva mahamune.
Here this Tatsrunushva, it is come. This Tat Shrunushva. Actually, Shrunu means here. Tat Shrunushva. Hear that. Okay? Tat Shrunushva. When it gets that sandhi there, Tat Shrunushva. Sandhi grammar is very difficult in Sanskrit. You will get very familiar with it as we progress. This is why that cha has to come instead of sha. That sha only is there. Shrunushva, we call it. But when it goes with tha and sha, when it conjoins together, the conjunction comes as, sandhi comes as, tat shrunushva. That is very unique. If you know sandhi grammar, you can be very proficient in Sanskritam. And people who have learned Tamil, for them it is comparatively easier because Tamil also has got such funny conjunctions there, sandhi there. Tat shrunushva, okay? That is sandhi. I am just explaining to you that tat shrunushva becomes tat shrunushva. Okay, when you are saying it, you have to say Devyastu Kavacham Punyam Tat shrunushva Mahamune.
Devyastu Kavacham Punyam Tat shrunushva Mahamune. Devyastu Kavacham Punyam Tat shrunushva Mahamune.
The Sandhi grammar mainly comes in Sanskritam because the meter doesn't get affected. When you split the words, the meter gets affected. That is the reason, and that is the very uniqueness of Sanskritam. Sanskritam language, it has got the unique feature of this language is because if you see so, it is only now we have got all these books. Written ones only we have got only now. But those days it was all oral. So a guru will sit and recite and the guru will sit and teach and Sishya will recite, hearing what the guru says. And especially the meter should not change. That is the reason the sandhi comes here. Okay? Then matras vary. No? That is, it is all intricate part of this language. That is beauty of this also. Asti guhyatamam vipra sarva bhutopakarakam devyastu kavacham punyam tatsrunushva mahamune.
Asti guhyatamam vipra sarva bhutopakarakam devyastu kavacham punyam tatsrunushva mahamune. Asti guhyatamam vipra sarva bhutopakarakam devyastu kavacham punyam tatsrunushva mahamune.
Vipra means wise men. Learned men are called Vipra. Vipra means learned men. Learned people, not men. I shouldn't be saying as wise one. Now people will be like, come up against me if I say that. No, it is wise one because we always have given so much equality in the Vedic times. We should not keep it only for men. Women, there are so many women scholars who are found in the, if you go back to our history, then you can find so many women scholars who have really contributed to all these things. So we should not say the wise one. Vipra means the wise one. We will not genderize that there. Asti guhyam, yes, there is one. Asti guhyatamam. Guhya means secret. It is guhyataram means comparatively more secretive. Guhyatamam means the superlative degree, the most secret. There's nothing beyond that. The most secret of that. What is the most secret here is the Shakti dwells in every being. The Shakti dwells in every being, that is the secret. So the most secret, that is Sarva Bhutopakarakam. It is beneficial to every being, everyone. Sarva Bhutopakarakam. What is that? It is Devya Kavacham. It is Devyastu Kavacham. It is Devya Kavacham, which is the most secret one, which is beneficial to everyone. Sarva Bhutopakarakam. Punyam Tatsrunushva Mahamuni. Tatsrunushva. He is addressing Markandeya as a Mahamuni. Tatsrunushva. Now you hear it from me. Kavacham I am going to recite now. Now you hear it. Shrunu. Shrunu means hear. Shrunushvat Mahamuni. Please hear what I am going to tell you. Okay. Pratamam Shaila Putri cha.
Pratamam Shaila Putri cha. प्रथमं शैलपुत्री च
द्वितीयं ब्रह्मचारिणी
द्वितीयं ब्रह्मचारिणी द्वितीयं ब्रह्मचारिणी
प्रथमं शैलपुत्री च द्वितीयं ब्रह्मचारिणी
प्रथमं शैलपुत्री च द्वितीयं ब्रह्मचारिणी प्रथमं शैलपुत्री च द्वितीयं ब्रह्मचारिणी
तृतीयं चन्द्रघण्टेति
तृतीयं चन्द्रघण्टेति तृतीयं चन्द्रघण्टेति
कूष्माण्डेति चतुर्थकम्
कूष्माण्डेति चतुर्थकम् कूष्माण्डेति चतुर्थकम्
तृतीयं चन्द्रघण्टेति कूष्माण्डेति चतुर्थकम्
तृतीयं चन्द्रघण्टेति कूष्माण्डेति चतुर्थकम् तृतीयं चन्द्रघण्टेति कूष्माण्डेति चतुर्थकम्
प्रथमं शैलपुत्री च द्वितीयं ब्रह्मचारिणी तृतीयं चन्द्रघण्टेति कूष्माण्डेति चतुर्थकम्
प्रथमं शैलपुत्री च द्वितीयं ब्रह्मचारिणी तृतीयं चन्द्रघण्टेति कूष्माण्डेति चतुर्थकम् प्रथमं शैलपुत्री च द्वितीयं ब्रह्मचारिणी तृतीयं चन्द्रघण्टेति कूष्माण्डेति चतुर्थकम्.
These names are all very familiar because we have seen in it Navaratri times. We will have 1 deity. What does it actually mean? The progress, spiritual progress, one person gets. The now Matas there, Navadurgas there, explained here, is actually the spiritual journey we all take. First what happens? You have to purify yourself. Purification of yourself, physically as well as mentally. You have to have a pure heart to even proceed with her worship. So purity of heart is denoted by Shailaputri. Shailaputri, actually the daughter of mountains. Amba is the daughter of mountains in Himavan Putri, Himalayas, where they say like Ganga. Ganga is considered to be the form of Devi only. When everybody worshipped her, those I am talking about before Bhagirathan brought it to the world, when everyone worshipped her, the Supreme Devi Adi Shakti, that who is formless, said we want to have some kind of a physical form where we can approach you, or for anything we need to have some kind of a form. The first thing that emerged was Ganga. Ganga was beyond the Brahmanda. It is the physical form of Adi Shakti herself. That is why she never gets contaminated or corrupted by our sins. I am not talking about other contamination, that the sins that she removes, she still remains pure because she is Adi Shakti. It is only after that Indradi Devatas went and worshipped her again. You have to come to our Indraloka. It is then she comes and Brahma takes it in his Kamandalam and gives it to Indra, and she goes to Indraloka. So then the Bhagirathan story comes, where he wants to bring it to the earth, so every one of us can be benefited by that. So first, Ganga means the one who purifies. And she is the form of Adi Shakti. So, Shailaputri, we all know that this Ganga comes from Himalayas mountains. So we call it as Shailaputri mainly to purify us. The first day of Navaratri worships Shailaputri. That is the reason. First purification has to happen. Mentally and physically, so you are qualified to sit in front of her to worship her. So first one is Shailaputri. Brahmacharini, next one. Dvitiya Brahmacharini. Brahmacharini is when the creation happened, Brahman was just there. No form, no character, nothing. Worse than a Jadam, because Jadam also has got some kind of a character, he is worse than a Jadam. He cannot move, he is Sarvavyapi, but he is there. So when the creation has to happen, why the creation happens? Because we all have to redeem ourselves from our sins. That is why creation happens. They all give one chance to us to redeem ourselves. One more chance. It is not only one chance, one more chance. So at least at some point of a time these people will get purified. So what happens? There is a movement that happens in the Brahman when the Shakti emerges. The movement, that spandam we call it. That is when Shankara starts the Saudaralahari with the spandam. He talks about the spandam because without that movement, the Shakti, even Shiva cannot move. It is only when Shiva and Shakti are one inside the other. So Shakti has to move for the creation to happen. So that dynamic power of Shakti is called Brahmacharini. We are getting all new explanations now for why we worship her. So first purifying yourself, and then you worship her as Brahmacharini, who denotes the dynamic power of Shakti or even Shiva. This is the dynamic aspect. Static energy is Shiva, dynamic energy is Shakti. Chandraghanta. Chandraghanta means holding Chandra as the bell. Her shape of the bell that she is holding is like a moon, Chandra. What it denotes actually. Because when the movement happened in the Brahman, every movement generates sound, right? If I come to a sonography theory, we attribute sonography mainly to sound because the movement and the sound, they are related. Always like Ghanta denotes sound, but the creation has not happened. It is only there in that initial stages. Chandra Ghanta, that is why Chandra is attributed to that, because Surya is mainly the creation, the progression, sustenance, everything happens because of the sun. But moon means it is benign, it is cooling down system. So it is like benign creativity is called Chandra Ghanta. The sound as a supreme Shabda Brahma that happens immediately after the first moment in the Brahma. So, Shailaputri, Brahmacharini and Chandraghanta. The fourth one they say is Kushmanda. Kutsita is one of the Navarasas. Hatred, disgust, not hatred, disgust. Sometimes when you see a mess, you don't hate it, you get disgusted in the mind what it is. The disgust is called Kutsita. Ushma is called passion or the heat that generated. So for the creation to happen, that energy, the heat has to come there. That she represents as Kushmanda. Ushma means Ushna, heat. That derived, Ushna is derived from Ushma. So the passion which is disgusting. They don't say it is appreciative because it is very negative to your spiritual progress. That is called Kushmanda. Got it? Too much to take? You please tell me. I know it is. See, my previous class was actually like, they have been traveling with me for 4 or 5 years. They are so tuned to this kind of talk. And first time for me also it is an experience to talk to new set of people where to explain the huge theories as simple as possible. So if you don't understand, please tell me. I will repeat it and I will try and explain it even more simpler. Okay? So Kutsita, you see the lust they say. The lust that you have, which is actually the main thing for the evolution and the creation. That is called Kushmanda. What is benign as Chandraghanta has to evolve, means this lust has to join in that. So that is the reason it is called Kushmanda. Kushmanda is also called, white pumpkin is also called Kushmanda. Okay, so we have seen 4 ladies. Now Devatas, now we are coming to the 5th, Navadurga, we are coming to the 5th one. Panchamam Skanda Mateti.
Panchamam Skanda Mateti. Panchamam Skanda Mateti.
Sashtam Katyayani Dija.
Shashtam Katyayani Dija. Shashtam Katyayani cha.
Panchamam Skanda Mateti. Sashtam Katyayani cha.
Panchamam Skanda Mateti. Shashtam Katyayani cha. Panchamam Skanda Mateti. Shashtam Katyayani cha.
Saptamam Kalaratriti.
Saptamam Kalaratriti. Saptamam Kalaratriti.
Mahagauriti Chashtamam.
Mahagauriti Chashtamam. Mahagauriti Chashtamam.
Saptamam Kalaratriti. Mahagauriti Chashtamam.
Saptamam Kalaratriti. Mahagauriti Chashtamam. Saptamam Kalaratriti. Mahagauriti Chashtamam.
Panchamam Skanda Mateti. Shashtam Katyayani cha. Saptamam Kalaratriti. Mahagauriti Chashtamam.
Panchamam Skanda Mateti. Shashtam Katyayani cha. Saptamam Kalaratriti. Mahagauriti Chashtamam. Panchamam Skanda Mateti. Shashtam Katyayani cha. Saptamam Kalaratriti. Mahagauriti Chashtamam.
Skanda Mata, fifth of the Durga, 9 Durgas is Skanda Mata. The mother of the war god Skanda. Skanda is the general who fights for everybody in the Devaloka, and mother is called Skanda Mata. The fight is only within us. That we will come. Katyayani. Katyayani is the one who is the daughter of sage Katyayana. That is why she is called as Katyayani. Katyayani is who has got all the 3 gunas. 3 gunas form the entire creation in different permutation combination. 3 gunas are the basic ingredient of the creation, Prapancha. So this Katyayani depicts the 3 gunas present in her. 7th one, Saptamam Kalaratriti. Kalaratriti denotes Ratri means dissolution here. Kalaratri Kala Ratri. It is the dissolution of the entire dissolution of the Prapancham. We say, because this we connect it with our spiritual progress, we say the dissolution of your ego. Dissolution of your ego. Because the next one is Mahagauri. Gauri means shining one. Mahagauri is which denotes the light of knowledge. Only when your ego gets dissolved, destroyed, the knowledge comes in. That is, she is Mahagauri. Mahagauri iti cha Ashtama. Ashtama, 8th Durga is called Mahagauri. Navamam Siddhidatri cha.
Navamam Siddhidatri cha. Navamam Siddhidatri cha.
Navadurga Prakirtidaha.
Navadurga Prakirtidaha. Navadurga Prakirtidaha.
Navamam Siddhidatri cha. Navadurga Prakirtidaha.
Navamam Siddhidatri cha. Navadurga Prakirtidaha. Navamam Siddhidatri cha. Navadurga Prakirtidaha.
Uktan yetani namani.
Uktan yetani namani. Uktan yetani namani.
Brahmanaiva Mahatmana.
Brahmanaiva Mahatmana. Brahmanaiva Mahatmana.
Uktan yetani namani. Brahmanaiva Mahatmana.
Uktan yetani namani. Brahmanaiva Mahatmana. Uktan yetani namani. Brahmanaiva Mahatmana.
Navamam Siddhidatri cha. Navadurga Prakirtidaha. Uktan yetani namani. Brahmanaiva Mahatmana.
Navamam Siddhidatri cha. Navadurga Prakirtidaha. Uktan yetani namani. Brahmanaiva Mahatmana. Navamam Siddhidatri cha. Navadurga Prakirtidaha. Uktan yetani namani. Brahmanaiva Mahatmana.
After the light of knowledge, we call it as Mahagauri. The next one is the Siddhi of that knowledge. That is why Siddhi Datri, the one who gives that supreme spiritual attainment, is called Siddhi Datri. The one who gives Dhatri she is the one who gives that Siddhi. That is why she is the 9th Durga. Thus the 9 Durga's names are revealed. Uktan Yethani Namani. These 9 Durgas are very known, very well known. And this 9 are revealed by the Brahma, who is the Mahatmana, who is the noble Brahma. It was revealed by noble Brahma. We will stop with this because I don't want, because next section will start. So we will stop with this today. But we will recite whatever we learned so far. Okay? Once we will recite it, so you will know exactly. You can practice also. Towards the end you can put it and then you can practice that. Athadevya, recite with me. Try and recite with me. So along with me you recite, because it's always good to have one more practice. Okay? Athadevya Kavacham. Om Asya Sri Chandi Kavachasya Brahma Rishihi Anushtuk Chandaha Chamunda Devata Anganya Sukta Mataro Bijam Digbandha Devatas Tattvam Shri Jagadamba Prityarte Saptasati Pathangatvena Jape Vinyogaha
ॐ नमश्चण्डिकायै मार्कण्डेयोवाच ॐ यद्गुह्यं परमं लोके सर्वरक्षाकरं नृणां यन्न कस्यचिदाख्यातं तन्मे ब्रूहि पितामह। ब्रह्मोवाच अस्ति गुह्यतमं विप्र सर्वभूतोपकारकम् देव्यास्तु कवचं पुण्यं तच्छृणुष्व महामुने। प्रथमं शैलपुत्री च द्वितीयं ब्रह्मचारिणी तृतीयं चन्द्रघण्टेति कूष्माण्डेति चतुर्थकम् पञ्चमं स्कन्दमातेति षष्ठं कात्यायनीति च सप्तमं कालरात्रीति महागौरीति चाष्टमम् नवमं सिद्धिदात्री च नवदुर्गाः प्रकीर्तिताः। उक्तानि एतानि नामानि ब्रह्मणैव महात्मना